Hello, welcome back to the Diaries of M. For those who are new here, my name is M, and I am a transgender woman who has found success in corporate America. This particular vlog this week will be all about the transgender guide to navigating corporate America while you are transitioning or looking to start your transition. I do want to preface that this particular blueprint is not exclusive to transgender folk and can help anybody, trans or non trans. However, I do want to make note that being that I am a trans woman who has found success, I want to help those like me navigate their careers. I feel like if I can do it as a Black trans woman, then anyone can reach the stars that they desire. Now, I have some tips here that I've written down that I used in my transition that I think can help everybody. So, for the first part, step one, find your niche. Corporate America has many different career niches that I think can cater to anyone's likes, right? So there's pharmaceuticals, there's healthcare, there's project management, there's risk management, the list goes on. So, what I would recommend as a step one for anyone who is looking to start their career in corporate America is do a quick Google search. What do you like to do? Use Chat GPT. Anything that you can do to help you pinpoint what it is that you would like to put your career into and really just understand what the nuances of that career are. Is there growth for hierarchy? Is there growth to move up and excel in that particular field? So also, once you find out what you want to do in your entry point, what career you want to go forward, I would recommend as a second step in your research is to figure out what are the requirements for that job, right? So, what are employers looking for? Is there a certain education level? Is there a certification that you can get in lieu of a 4 year degree? Things of that nature. Look at example resumes that someone has submitted. They're all over Google. You can use those as a blueprint and a baseline to, kind of kickstart how to build your resume and your expertise if you're starting from scratch using those examples. Let's see what else here. So I would definitely do that. And once you find out what those certifications are, just research how you can get into those programs. Is there a certain, um, 2 year college that has a certification course for professional adults who are looking to excel their career? That's one aspect that I did for my paralegal certification for my particular role. And this was years ago. I just Googled, hey, I'm in risk management, I work in compliance, and I just Googled what kind of certification would help me excel that baseline understanding and excel it to a higher level. And lo and behold, there was a college near me called George Mason that had a paralegal certification course for professional adults. And that's what I took. And it's really helped me excel in my particular role in my career. So I would say, first step, find your niche. What career path do you want to go into? What do you like to do? And find that and do further research on what that particular job requires for an entry level position going into that corporate America spot. Now, for step two, I would say invest in yourself. Once you understand where your niche is, what the requirements are, the certifications, the education, I would say your biggest tool is going to be to invest in yourself, whether that's going back to school for a 2 year degree, a 4 year degree, if it requires it, or a certification. Nowadays, you don't really need a 4 year degree to get into corporate America. You don't. These certifications are so focused on certain things that you'll be doing in your actual role in corporate America that a 4 year degree is really just fluff. It's 2 years of prerequisites, right? So, like things that don't even cater to your major that you have to do just to get that degree. To me, I mean, I have my 4 year degree, but honestly, I feel if I would go back in time, I would probably cater my education to something that was more certification based because it then gave me a more focused education to what I really wanted to do. So invest in yourself. If there's certain loans or grants that you can get or work on the side while you are working towards your corporate America career, I would say go for that. Do that because that will only be a stepping stone to get you where you want to be. Now, for those who are trans, I would say building your confidence. If you are starting out as a transgender woman in corporate America, you have not transitioned yet, but you're looking to, I would say your confidence in your transition is going to be key. There's going to be a lot of people that give you looks, whether they're good looks or bad looks. You have to build a thick skin while you're embarking on this journey. I would say one thing to do to build your confidence is electrolysis. If you're just starting out, that was the first thing that I did. Is if you have a beard or you have facial hair of any kind, using electrolysis or laser hair removal will be your best friend to help you build your confidence and feminize your look to greater lengths. Okay, so that's going to be step one. I would also say to you, go through the normal courses, go to your therapist, talk to them, get the hormone therapy, all of that stuff. Once you start taking all of this, that will help your confidence build. But please keep in mind that it's always important to let your boss, your direct boss, manager, supervisor know that this is something that you're going to be doing. So that way, they're aware, they can support you wherever necessary. And if they don't support you, then that is going to be something that is a bigger conversation with your company's HR division, unfortunately. But, people have different stories, and people need to realize that not every story is going to be black and white. So I would start there. Invest in yourself, and that means to build your confidence with laser hair removal if you're just starting out. Also, to talk to your employer about that particular transition that you plan to do, and then invest in yourself in regards to education. Build your resume, build your asset portfolio, so that way your resume is bulletproof. When you go in there for that interview, you have all of those recommendations or those requirements that the employer is looking for, and you can speak on your experiences through those programs. So I would say step two is to invest in yourself. So, one other component of investing in yourself is building your look, right? So, I will always tell folk who are transgender one question that my mom asked me when I first started my transition is, what kind of woman do you want to be? Is corporate America even a realm that you want to be in? Is this part of your end vision of who you are? When my mom asked me that question, I wanted to be like her. She's an elegant, classy, beautiful, strong Black woman. And I found power in that. I found so much beauty in that. So I strove to be just like her, if not better. Elegance, beauty, and class. I think those are the three things that I strive for always. And what comes with that, right? So, this is the path that you want to go, kind of like mine, where you want to build an elegant look to your transition as a woman. Then, one thing about that is going to be your wardrobe and how you carry yourself. So, I plan to do another video after this particular guide is over. It's going to be next week, where we talk about the attire that you can wear in corporate America that will elevate you and exude that class and elegance that I love to always portray. To me, a woman's biggest asset is her timeless beauty and class. I get comments all the time from coworkers on how I just radiate class and elegance. And those words to me are music to my ears because that's what I always try to portray. That is going to be your biggest weapon. Again, those will be your weapons to have people in corporate America take you seriously. Unfortunately, if you wear or you carry yourself in a youthful manner or a young manner, then folks who are in higher positions will not see you as someone who will bring value to the table. So keep that in mind. One thing that I kind of have noted here about elegance and building your elegant, timeless wardrobe is that elegance elevates your reputation, as I just mentioned. It also commands respect. If you take pride in how you look and how you carry yourself, people have no choice but to respect you as a person, trans or not trans. One other thing is that it has a lasting impact. Those who meet you are going to be talking about you in your radiance for months, years to come. And if your work can parallel that, you are going to reach the stars in no time. I promise you. Okay. And then also, last but not least, for an elegant, timeless look, is that it attracts quality relationships. It'll help you build good connections with folks who are good people. I know there are many different types of trans women, and some circumstances may have certain kinds of us go towards, sex work or other things like that. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. Unfortunately, it is against the law in some of these places, but what you do and how you carry yourself, you'll attract those kinds of people in your circle. So if you want to be successful in corporate America, you need to surround yourself with people who are like-minded, who want to reach for the stars and obtain those stars. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking to transition, figure out what kind of woman you want to be and if corporate America fits into that particular vision. If it doesn't, then that's perfectly fine. If it does, then you have a blueprint here to help you reach those stars. Okay, so we've talked about finding your niche, investing in yourself, building your confidence as all of these different types of things that can help you get to where you want to be. Once you find the position that you want to go for, whether it's entry level or above entry level, I would say the best thing to do is start practicing your resume, or practicing your resume for one, yes, but also practicing your interviewing skills. Now, you can use Chat GPT for this, but for those who are starting out, I want to make note because I've been in many interviews before where it is very obvious that a person is using Chat GPT during the interview and reading off what Chat GPT is telling them to read off to the employer. That would not be ideal. Please do not do that. But I would recommend that you use Chat GPT for a practice kind of resource. Use it to think of certain ways to respond to those types of questions in the niche that you're going for. Please, 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 please do not use it during the interview because that will not go well and it will not look good in your favor. Okay. But I'm going to fast forward now to when you actually get the job. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that when you invest in yourself, you need to get all of the certifications that is being required, but maybe there's one that can help get your foot in the door. Okay. So once you have your foot in the door, you get the position. I would say to really utilize what you've learned from your studies, from your certification, and apply it to your real world work. That will kind of showcase, your work at a higher level, hopefully in comparison to others that are in your particular division or team. Okay. But don't lose sight. What I like to do and what I did was I created a 5-year plan. I would continue my education, my certifications, even while I was employed. Okay. What you get before you're employed is only going to be a stepping stone. Look for higher certifications, higher things that you can do to build you and your brand, whether it's business writing to have that particular element of writing legal documents or writing business emails. Business writing is something that can be used by everybody and is a good tool for anybody in corporate America to have under their belt. Okay. So that would be another thing is once you're in the door, continue your growth, build a 5-year plan and also increments within your 5-year plan that can help you reach that overarching goal. I know for me, when I first started out, I wanted to be in risk management and compliance as a compliance officer. So I was like, okay, how can I get there? So I found mentors who were, well suited in compliance. I would ask them questions, meet with them on a quarterly basis to understand, what they did to get to where they are. And I took that and I ran with it. I took those courses that they took. I, implemented the strategies that they did into my work as a lower entry level person. So that way I could showcase that I was capable. I could do what they did and get there just as easily as well. So build that out. If you need help building out anything, I'm thinking about actually creating a 5-year guide tool, goal tool that you can use to kind of fill in and just jot in, incremental things that can help you get to where you want to go. But again, I'm still debating that, but just we'll see where this goes. But I would say that find a mentor. Okay, find a mentor in the field that you or the highest position that you want to be in your particular niche, and meet with them on a regular cadence. Discuss what you want to do, discuss and ask questions ongoing on how you can better yourself, what would they recommend, and also continue your education based off of those conversations. You will reach the stars in no time. Okay. So that is going to be step three, is ongoing growth, finding a mentor, building a 5-year plan with tangible goals. Be available also in your role, your current role, whether it's entry level or whatever, for additional projects. That is one thing that I did as well, is I would ask my leaders, they would often ask who would be available to take this on or that on. And one thing that I will always say to those who are trying to grow is, if you're in a project that makes you uncomfortable, that is a good thing. That will help you build your confidence, build your expertise. Being thrown to the wolves is sometimes the most uncomfortable thing in the world, but I promise that will build you so quick at the same time. It really will. So be available for those additional ad hoc kind of projects or things that you can be a part of. And really, be present for those types of things that will have you outshine your coworkers and colleagues at an expedited level. So I promise that will be amazing. For those who are transgender and in the corporate America space, I want you to just keep in mind that being resilient on misgendering is going to happen, especially in your early transitional years. You may be mistaken or misgendered as he, she, whatever you're transitioning into, but just note that people will need time, especially if you're just starting out, to really acclimate to the transition that you're already kind of light years ahead on. I promise. There were many times where I was misgendered, but it can be frustrating, and it is frustrating. But just know that people need time to really acclimate and adjust to what you're going through. And if you're visually not there yet, then please give grace. Please, please give grace. You will get there. And when you're there, I promise you, you will be the baddest thing out there. Just be confident, be you, and you will not be misgendered. If you are misgendered, then kindly say, "Hey, excuse me, I actually go by ma'am." Don't get frustrated. Be above the person, especially if they're trying to, be negative about it and misgender you on purpose. Be a bigger person. Be a bigger woman, and just politely say, "I'm sorry. I actually am ma'am, not sir." And I would appreciate it if you could just respect that going forward. Leave it at that. And if it becomes an issue going forward, then I think that it's something that needs to be discussed. So that happened to me actually once, and I forgot to mention this in my prior vlog about my success story. There was this one guy, and I think he was one of those guys who was a DL kind of guy, because when I was pre-transition, he would flirt a lot. But when I transitioned, I don't know what happened. I think he got married or something to a woman, but there was one day where I was walking down the hall to get tea from the cafeteria, and he and his guy friends were like, looking at me and smirking. And he was the ringleader. He was the one who was kind of like whispering and saying things. I don't know what he was saying, but I know it was a negative because of the way that they were looking at me and smirking. And this is all in the workplace. So, what I did in that regard, before I go to HR, before I go to anything else, I like to confront the person directly. I'm so sorry for that little cut. My phone ran out of storage. My goodness, this is why I need to get a actual vlogging camera. My goodness. But anyway, back to the story. So what happened was, I like to talk to them directly before I go to HR. I feel like that is the most professional thing to do, is to be an adult and talk to the person that is causing you grief or a qualm or whatever is going on. So I went to him and I said, "Excuse me, I know that you are talking about me, but the next time that that happens, I will go directly to your supervisor and discuss this with them." And when I said that, I could see the look on his face, all the blood drained from his face, like he was caught red handed. Like, come on, you have to know that your actions have consequences. And I will approach you as an adult professionally and talk about what I'm going to do if this continues. So I think that resonated because he was scared to be around me. If I looked his way or I saw him in the hallway, he would quickly look away and try to walk speed past me. So anyway, if that ever happens to you, and if you're transgender in the workplace, I highly recommend for you to discuss this issue with them directly as an adult before you go to HR or before you go to their immediate supervisor. I feel like adults need to be adults at some point and really just, talk to the person. And if that doesn't nix it in the bud as a first step, then of course, by all means, escalate that as you see fit, because that is not cool. I would never do that to anybody else. And I respect the same respect as he is getting. So anyway, that's my little rant there. But what I would also say, one thing to also work on, I mentioned business writing, and this is kind of, when you're in the workplace developing your ongoing growth. Um, One thing that you could do, and that I had to work on myself, especially during meetings, I would always get butterflies and super nervous on speaking to a large group around a project summary that I had written, what the risk levels were and everything. And these are to big wigs like the VP, the assistant vice president, legal counsel, a room full of them. And I was told multiple times by my direct boss, who is actually a lawyer, go figure, that my cadence was off. The cadence at which I was speaking was so nervous that I would speed through things and people couldn't digest what I was saying. So I made it an effort that before every meeting, and this is a tactic that I still use today that I would recommend, is to practice what you're going to be presenting days before your actual presentation. I would use my phone to record myself in my cadence and listen back to, what I was saying, if it made sense, if I was speaking too fast, if there were stutter points, whatever. So I could go back and practice that cadence and practice my flow. So come that day, I was perfect. And I still use that today. Thankfully, I'm not as nervous as I was before around presenting certain things, especially to higher levels of folks. But there are situations where there is a complicated summary or issue that I've noted or that I've written to, and I would need to practice how to eloquently present that to people at a higher level. People at higher levels, for those who don't know, like for things to be higher level. Tell them a gist of what's going on, not the details and all of these different things. What did you see? How did you find it? What's the impact of that issue? And how do we plan to fix it? What is the solution? So these are just little things that I kind of took away from, my experience through corporate America. I feel like this blueprint and this particular guide is going to be helpful for anybody. If there's any granular detail that you would like answers to or have questions on, please, 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 I will link my direct email below. I will link my social media below. Feel free to comment if you're also trans and in corporate America. I would love to hear your story, and if your story is similar to mine or if it's different. What did you go through? How did you navigate corporate America? Are there any best tips that maybe I glossed over or forgot to mention? Let's start this dialogue below in the comments. I think that this would be a video that will be useful for anyone who is coming after us in the transgender world that could, use this forevermore. So I want to say that that is the end of all of my tips and tricks on how to navigate corporate America. Those are very powerful different steps and different tricks that I've just mentioned. So again, if you have any questions around specifics, I will be here. I feel like we're all a team in this regard. If one of us fails, then we all fail. If one of us succeeds, then we are shining a beacon on our entire community. So I will be here for you. So in our next vlog, I will talk about our outfits, how to dress elegantly in corporate America for a long lasting effect. Now, this will be a vlog that will showcase outfits and pieces that are within reasonable value, and also those luxury pieces that, are one-off pieces that will only add and enhance to your ensemble. So you will see here an example. This is what I'm currently wearing today. This is an example of what I have worn in will wear to the office before. So the top here is going to be from Lily Silk. I love this top here. It's just so breathable, perfect for the season. We're in that fall transition. We also have a beautiful wool skirt here. This is from Amazon, and I believe around $25. The belt is also from Amazon, and this is so cozy, so comfortable, but also elegant and timeless. You can wear this at any time in your corporate career, and I promise it will be fabulous. It will transcend time. And the shoes here I also got from Amazon, and those were, I want to say, like $36. So on a budget. The purse is a luxury piece. I bought this in France from a boutique called Poulain. And I love this bag, but this bag is perfect for the autumn season and really helps elevate the entire look. The earrings that we have here are also from, I want to say they're from Etsy, and we're about $15. So if you find beautiful pieces that are quality pieces, no matter the price point, I promise you will look put together in elegance. So again, there will be a deep dive on these outfits in the next vlog, and I will go through an outfit haul on all of my corporate outfits that I usually do day to night in. So look forward to that guide and that particular video. I think it's going to be a fun one. I love when I do outfit hauls, but I think I have yabbered enough. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to share this video to those who may need it. Like, subscribe, comment, and I cannot wait to see how this is received. Thanks again for your time and joining me here today. And until next weekend, I wish you a beautiful week. See you then. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm not